typing this in case somebody doesn't hear me say it, or so that was what, the third time. If this happens again, we're gonna call it. I don't know why this keeps happening. Not only did this happen again, it made me change my Google account and password, which is very curious. So I don't know that I'll be using this app again to stream anything. I don't know why I needed to change my what a mess. So much for Subscriber Appreciation Day. I'm sorry, guys. Again, if this happens again, let's just call it. It's too much. Going on 9 o'clock, so I still got a little bit left in me, but yeah. Again, if this happens one more time, we'll chat some other time. This one took a little longer because when it crashed, I had to go to the bathroom, and then it asked me to change my Google account information. Extremely interesting. We had a good long run though, right? All right, I don't remember what I was talking about. Let's see if we can get anybody back. I doubt we get many folks back after that one. That would be done. But Command Tent and Sergeant Rock have stuck it out. I'm gonna check one other thing. So when you go to my channel, you're gonna see you should see 2 live now feeds, right? Because those are, yep, there we go, there's 1. There's 2, and then the third one that I'm on now. What a mess. Nothing can be easy, can it? I was talking about Old School Tactical. Oh yeah, Dr. Frankenstein. Okay. I've self-dubbed myself the Dr. Frankenstein of Wargaming because I've got Old School Tactical meshed with fighting formations, meshed with squad leader and some of my own stuff, and try and play that because something's wrong with me and I can't play a game the way it's meant to be played. Rarely do I do that. If I do, it's for a very limited amount of time, and then I decide I have to change this, or what if I try this, and it's the tinkerer in me, and it's a big reason why I got into designing my own games, because always fiddling with stuff. Old School Tactical is a good game, again, because I can relate to it. It's like something I would have come up with. Wow, what a great way to get rid of people. Viper Dave. All right, Viper Dave, I don't blame you, buddy. Take care, brother. Thank you for hanging out. You guys are troopers. Thank you, Viper Dave, for your subscribership. Again, for the record, if this happens again, we're going to call it. Michael, Sergeant Rock, and Command Tent. If this thing conks out again, we're going to call it. Don't look for me again. We're going to just end it. This will be the third. If it does, it'll be the third time. That's too much. So games do evolve, and yet they don't. You know, for as much innovation that I've noticed in games, there's still a lot of tried and true traditional things that, for whatever reason, will never change. and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you have a foundation. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera at you guys. I'm looking at the comments here. So it's not that I'm a camera shy. That said, there's a certain foundation relating to games that the other stuff is built upon, and the other stuff that is the stuff that tends to evolve and innovate, and that maybe that's the way it should be. The Command 10, you haven't dipped your toes in old school tactical. Is that what you're saying? And if not, why not? Does anybody have any? I'm not trying to open a can of worms here, but does anybody have any comments on Combat Commander? And I understand Chad Jensen just passed. May he rest in peace. But that's not to say you can't be analytical when it comes to the Combat Commander. Has anybody played that you guys find it as good as, hey, P. Beckus? Does anybody else find Combat Commander to be as rewarding as many other folks say that it is? I like Combat Commander. I just haven't. There's things I would rather play. Let me put it this way: if I was just getting into wargaming and you showed me Combat Commander, that would be my favorite game. I would love that game. But because I've played Squad Leader, and I think again fighting formations, I think that's underrated. I don't know if it's because people don't get it or what, but and old school tactical and Conflict of Heroes, I would rather play those than Combat Commander. But if Combat Commander was all I knew, I would think it's the greatest game there is. I can see that. I get that. Michael says he's liked what has happened with war games in the last 10 years, and I have to agree with that. I can't wait to see what direction wargaming heads in the next 10 years, and I thought maybe, and perhaps it's too early, I thought maybe the integration of apps on your phone with cardboard wargaming may take a little stride. There was the U-Boot game that came out, which required you to use an app on your phone and integrate that with the game. And that caught a little bit of flack, but I thought that was innovative. I mean, if you don't like it, that's great. Don't play it. But, you're not forced to do that. But I thought it was innovative, and I'm curious to see if that gets traction. P. Beckus, Combat Commander, my all-time favorite game ever. Well, there you go. See, and you're not alone, brother. A lot of people will go down swinging to defend that game. Combat board games, but it does take someone special to actually take the time to produce one for the market. Yes. Michael says I like it very much, very thematic, but it's not ASL. It's definitely not. It's two different critters. Definitely two different critters. Hard to find opponents in a small town. Oh, well, yes. And then what would be the counter argument, and I'll play the devil's advocate here. The counter argument would be what? That there's Vassal. Well, I don't play Vassal. I get that there's Vassal. But then I might as well play a computer game. I understand that, and I'm glad there's Vassal. But I want the game in front of me that I can touch it and move the pieces with my hand and not a mouse. And if I'm playing with somebody else, I'm across the table. I'm glad there's Vassal, but it's not for me. Two different ways to, and yeah, hard to find opponents, which I've already commented on, but it is. I mean, I live in Columbia, and I live in New Orleans now, and there's a contingent of gamers nearby, and for whatever reason, I have not allowed myself to socialize with them. I don't know why. I don't know if it's social anxiety or what. There's Sean Chick lives here. For those of you familiar with Horse and Musket, He lives here. I've hung out with him, did lunch with him once, and I'd like to interview him and get him on the show. But he's here. But really, um, yeah, there's not a lot of people here, and when you play with other people, you have to coincide. Not that this is really an issue, but you got to coincide schedules and decide upon the way I game is so erratic. I think if I was to game with somebody, they would probably stab me in the face because it's either I game for 15 minutes, I'm done for the night, or it's 4 hours. And I never know what it's going to be, and I like to be in control of that time allotment. I never want to feel obligated to do something, so there's that. Let's see. And as I'm looking through these, I will reiterate one more time. This has crashed twice. I use an app through my phone to stream because I don't have enough subscribers to stream directly through YouTube. It has crashed twice. If it crashes a third time, we're calling it an evening. Don't look for me again until the next live show. But I appreciate everybody's patience with this. I know I've lost a number of viewers because of it, and I don't blame you guys. But that's where it's at. Let's see. I hate not having the card I need. It's frustrating, and I agree with that. And others might argue that that's exciting, that creates a challenge or a level of intensity, perhaps unparalleled in other games. I would say that I don't like it. Okay, I'll just say I don't like it. I don't know that I can go as far as to say it's unrealistic because you can argue there are plenty of things in games that is unrealistic. But no, I don't like that. So I guess I will go on record as saying I don't like card-driven games, and you can argue that this is a card-driven game. Combat Commander is. Card-assisted is different. Card-driven games, yeah, not so much for me. Card assist is fine, yeah, Michael. And Command Tint says, Combat Commander, the only tactical World War II game I played so far. So for good or bad, it's my reference as I look at other tactical systems, and that's fine. I get that, and I've said already tonight, if that was the first game that I played, I would think it was phenomenal, and rightly so. As an introductory game, I don't know that you can do any worse. But I would steer you in the direction of, if not Conflict of Heroes, and here I go, Advanced Squad Leader Starter Kit. When you're ready for something more, and I'm not knocking Combat Commander, I swear I'm not, but when the novelty wears off, when it feels a little stale, head towards an ASL Starter Kit, the first one, and just give it a shot and see what you think. Give it an honest try, see what you think. Yeah, I feel the same about Vassal. Yeah, God bless Vassal. I'm glad it's there. It serves a purpose, especially for when you want to have something available to be play tested and get feedback on. Yeah, it's just not for me. P. Backus, I really did not like Old School Tactical. It didn't grab me. I swapped my Kickstarter copy for some miniatures. I can see where people wouldn't like Old School Tactical. Was it that you swapped it for miniatures? Was there something fundamental with the rules you didn't like? The action point system, you roll the dice for action points. I'd be curious to know. And I love the original Squad Leader, but I don't like Advanced Squad Leader. Well, yeah, they're two different things. When I started with Squad Leader, and played it, loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I don't want to sound like an old guy, but in those days they didn't have the starter kit. So having learned as Squad Leader allowed me to more easily and readily learn Advanced Squad Leader when I finally made that leap. But yeah, definitely Squad Leader for sure. Fog of War. I still play my old Squad Leader. Never give it up. Yeah, I find it hard to believe that there will ever be another game that has the impact that had and continues to have. Many games have come out, but they don't have the shelf life, the half life, if you will, that Squad Leader has, and specifically Advanced Squad Leader. But everything from the original concept of the realistic tactical representation to the layout of the rule book, where you only need to read so much before you can play a scenario, and then you read a little more. That was all very new and innovative at the time, and very welcomed, I might add. I really like the tactical games. It's the shiznit. Okay, Snoop Dogg. I have every map of Squad Leader. You have every Squad Leader map? The mounted boards. I don't have Crescendo of Doom or Anvil of Victory, but I have Iron Cross and Squad Leader. So and the other thing about Squad Leader is you really do feel, at least I do, I really do feel like I'm delving into a specific historical chapter of history, and I can play it out, and I can compare and contrast how my version plays out to how it played out in history. I really like that, and it's, I don't mean to sound cheesy, and I've said this before, but there is a kind of movie or cinematic feel to a Squad Leader game, the way it's laid out with the scenario card and what you're doing, etc. It's very appealing to me. Have you ever tried Great War Commander? I've come very close to buying that game. I like what I see. I don't know how often I would be inclined to actually sit down and play hours of it. So as I get older, as I value my time more and my money as well, I'm less willing these days to shell out money for everything that I see that I think I might like. There was a time I did that, and it's dangerous, and I don't live dangerously anymore. So I'm a little more discriminating with my purchases, or so I say. Yeah, I've heard good things about Great War Commander, and I may yet delve into that, but as of yet, I've withheld pulling the trigger. Sniper was pretty hokey even back in the day, but I still liked it. Well, what options did you have back in the day if you wanted to do, what wasn't that like man-on-man combat? Sniper. And I've already said this, but I'll share it again. The game that really, I've said Squad Leader, which was the game that opened my third eye. Wargamers have a third eye. You guys may not know this, but you have a third eye, and there will be a game at some point, if there hasn't been yet, that will open that third eye, and you will see things for the first time. There is a game out there for you that will do that. Mine was Squad Leader. That said, I lost my train of thought. Oh, that said, Ambush came close, and I would say that was the first real war game that I learned the rules and played accordingly. I didn't fudge the rules, or I didn't act like I knew the rules. I learned the rules from cover to cover and played it. I was up in Seattle, Washington on vacation with my grandfather. Nothing to do, trailer. I was a kid, I had a skateboard, nothing to do. I ordered this game from Avalon Hill, when you could do COD, charge on delivery. This is how long ago that was. And I ordered Ambush, and when it showed up, I learned it, and it just blew me away. In fact, I take that back. It was Battle Hymn. Battle Hymn came later, but it's the same concept. I learned that game and I played it, and it was awesome. It was so cool. I had so much fun playing that. And then later came Squad Leader, which opened my third eye. What else do we have here? And we're going on 9:13. So let's say let's say around 9:30ish, we'll call it, unless it conks out before then. So about 15 more minutes. Let's see. Panzer 44 and Mech War 77. Now, Panzer 44, was that the... No, I'm thinking of something else. Okay. Axis and Allies. Yeah, I had a little love affair, a little soiree with Axis and Allies for a bit. I had this company I worked at for a while. I found online a modified version of an Axis and Allies map that I wanted to print out, and one of the bigwigs at the company saw something I had, and he's like, "What is that?" And I showed him, and I'm like, "I'm trying to print this map out, and I'm running into snags with it." And he goes, "No, give me that." And I don't know why or for what reason, but